So, Genesis Ascended Part 1 is coming late Q2 2026 and is launching alongside Bob's True Tales Tides of the Fortune, a pirate-inspired DLC that already feels like the spiritual successor to Atlas but in Ascended. And then they reveal the Paleoctopus. Not a squid, not a cute sea tame, this is the Kraken. And here's the real kicker, because the ocean biome in Genesis Ascended Part 1 isn't just a big water area anymore. It's being described as a map-sized ocean biome that links directly into the pirate DLC, with random fortresses, islands, and actual land to explore. So today we're actually going to be breaking down everything from what Genesis Part 1 actually is, how the simulation works, the biomes and what to expect in Ascended, hexagons, missions, bosses, restrictions, and why a map-sized ocean plus pirate system plus Kraken could become the most replayable thing ARK has ever made. So let's get straight in with this. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. So Genesis Part 1 is one of the most experimental ARK DLCs ever, because it's not a traditional map like the Island or Ragnarok. It's a simulation split into 5 distinct biome zones. You have Bog, Arctic, Ocean, Volcanic, Lunar, and instead of walking across one huge landmass, you teleport between them using the HLNA. You pick the biome, the direction spawn, and you move instantly. And unlike beds, the HLNA teleportation lets you keep your inventory safely, which is a big deal because Genesis gameplay revolves around switching biomes constantly for missions, resources, and progression. So Genesis is basically 5 mini-maps but tied together by a mission system and a currency economy. So Genesis introduced a whole new system that we didn't see before. Instead of relying on explorer notes as your main discoverable content, you find glitches around the simulation. You fix them and the HLNA gives you lore and rewards. And the key reward is hexagons, the Genesis in-game currency. You earn hexagons by fixing glitches and completing missions, and then you can spend them in the HLNA menu on resources, supplies, or level 1, 2, 3 loot crates. And this matters for Ascended because it changes the entire flow of the game. On most maps you grind the world, and on Genesis you grind the systems, missions, currency, targeted rewards, teleport loops, and with the pirate content arriving at the same time, you know, hexagons could end up being tied to ship upgrades, contracts, fortress raids, pirate cosmetics, or even bounty style missions. Wildcard did mention that the missions are changing with Genesis Ascended, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So let's talk about the change that makes this whole release feel a lot different, because originally the Genesis Ocean was large, but it was still one biome zone. Now we're hearing the ocean biome is effectively becoming map-sized, and it is designed to the direct impact of Tides of the Fortune. So imagine this, a massive ocean world, not just empty water, but random fortresses spawning across it, islands and land masses to explore, potentially shifting points of interest and pirate systems layered on top. This is the kind of thing that turns Genesis from a DLC people play for missions into something people live on. And if they do this right, the ocean biome becomes a PvP hotspot for ship battles, a PvE adventure zone, a naval progression system, a boss hunting playground. And then you add the Kraken, and that's new endgame event energy. So Tides of the Fortune is pirate inspired, and it screams we're bringing ship gameplay to Ascended, fully customizable pirate ships, pirate themed content, and likely a lot of the mechanics inspired by Atlas but hopefully refined and a lot better. Atlas had great ideas, but it had problems, performance issues, clunky systems, balance nightmares, and it never became what it could have been. Ascended is the second but final chance, and the genius move here is pairing it with Genesis, because the Genesis ocean biome already has deep trenches, terrifying sea life, unique environmental hazards, and an ocean boss ecosystem. Now it becomes a pirate ecosystem too. So the Paleoctopus being the Kraken is huge because it instantly creates a naval threat that isn't just players. If it's designed right, it becomes a roaming ocean menace, and the best case scenario is it attacks ships, it grabs or mobilizes vessels, it forces players to prepare for voyages, and maybe it becomes part of the fortress raid loop. If you actually think about it, if there are random fortresses and islands, players will be sailing constantly, which means a Kraken isn't just a boss you summon, it's a constant threat that makes travel exciting, and ARK has needed that for a lot of years. Also, right now, we don't know if this Kraken is going to be tameable, but if it is, the size of this thing is frightening. So the bog is labelled easy, but players know the truth. It's swamp chaos. Titan trees, hostile wildlife, bloodstalkers above you, bugs, poison, surprise danger, and the Genesis bog is a death by 1,000 cuts type of biome. It's good for unique tames, mission loops, and farming specific resources, but it's bad for new players that believes easy means safe. The Arctic is brutal. It has avalanches, blizzards, heavy predators, and ferox cave threats. Ferox is the iconic tame here, it's a cute shoulder pet until it becomes a monster. The volcano is ash, oil, eruptions, and magmasaur territory. This is high risk, high reward type biome. The Luna has low gravity, oxygen vents launching you, solar rays that kill exposed survivors, and element fog. And of course, the space whale, the Astrasuchus. Now, Genesis has 176 missions. Each mission has gamma, beta, and alpha difficulty. Rewards include hexagons, gear, loot crates, and tech items depending on the mission and the tier. Some missions allow tames, give you a tame temporary, or ban tames entirely. And for the replay loop is farm the missions you're good at, build hexagons, buy targeted loot, teleport to the next biome, and repeat. Now add pirate content and random fortresses to that loop, and you've got a DLC structure that can stay alive for ages, but as I did mention to you guys, a lot is meant to change with the mission system, and I think Wildcard are going to change up the way the hexagon shop actually works. So the Genesis Part 1's core creature roster is pretty insane, and a lot of people are looking forward to it. You've got the Magmasaur, which is the Volcano King, the Bloodstalker Spider, the Ferox, the Megachelon Moving Ocean Base, the Astrasuchus, or even if I got that right, which is the Space Whale, the Tech Trike, plus X creatures variants with boosted stats and unique patterns. And in Ascended, you're adding the Paleoctopus, the Kraken, and there could be many more new creatures coming, and of course a bunch of new bosses, and this release has the potential to massively shift the tame meta, especially on the ocean. So Genesis Part 1 currently has 2 major bosses, the Moda, Master of the Ocean, and the Corrupted Master Controller, the final boss. As I mentioned, many more can be added with the Tides of the Fortune DLC, and I'm really expecting that. Ocean being map size means the Moda entire ecosystem could feel more alive, especially if fortress events exist, the Kraken exists, ship combat exists, and deep ocean trenches are expanded. And you're not just going to the boss, you're surviving a whole ocean world to get there, and I think that's what makes this really exciting, because we kind of won't know what's ahead of us, and your whole tribe and or crew, you could call it, will be sailing the seas not knowing what's below, waiting to attack them. So Genesis also had restrictions that changed gameplay because some flyers were disabled for riding, certain tech suit abilities were disabled such as the jetpack and the leggings super speed, and some movements still worked, the Rock Drake glide, the Maywing glide, and some creatures are exceptions. The Force's ground traversal makes each biome feel more dangerous. But now, with pirate ships being a major travel tool, this actually might feel better than ever because ships become the main meta for ocean progression. Now, quick lore clarification here, because when Lost Colony launched in December, it matters because how it confirms how ARK is stitching this story together. Genesis has always been tied into bigger lore threads, especially around the Genesis simulation, the master AI, and what it's building towards. So with Lost Colony out now, the community has a much clearer picture about how the arcs connect. So Genesis Part 1 isn't setting up something that might happen, it's continuing the story thread that's already active right now in Ascended. So if we put this all together, there's 5 biome simulations with teleport loops, 176 missions with repeatable progression, a hexagon currency economy, a map-sized ocean biome, potential random fortresses and explorable land masses, pirate ships with customization which is fully customizable, a Kraken creature that can terrorize travel, ocean endgame bosses, and new paid content pirate inspired layered into it. So this isn't just a DLC, it's a full gameplay ecosystem, and if they nail balance and performance, Genesis Part 1 and Tides of the Fortune could become the new main ARK experience for a massive chunk of the player base. So in the comment section down below, let me know what you are most looking forward to with the launch of Genesis Part 1. My current ETA, with it being late Q2 2026, is going to be June. The reason I say June is they're still awaiting the release of Unreal Engine 5.7, which is meant to be coming in April, but also could be pushed back until May. You don't really know when it comes to Studio Wildcard, but overall, I'm really looking forward to this DLC, and let's hope there's no major issues. Catch you guys on my next one. Leave a like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.